Good evening. We'd like to welcome you to the Board of Education meeting for August 24th, 2020. We'd like to call us back into order, and I'd entertain a motion to resume our board session.
I move that we resume our board session.
It's been properly moved in second. We will vote with our roll call. Ms. Sawyer,
Chair Robinson. Ms. Sharon.
here.
Ms. Sharon Warden.
Present.
Mr. George Archuleta.
Present.
Ms. Virginia Houston.
Present.
Mr. Walter B. Jolly. Ms. Pam Pereza.
Present.
Dr. Sheila Williams.
Present.
Thank you, Dr. Robinson.
Thank you. Our session, we are now back into open session. We will begin by having our Pledge of Allegiance by Casey Miller, 7th grader from Elizabeth City Middle School.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will now have a moment of silence. Thank you. Having just had our roll call, Ms. Warden, would you read our ethics awareness statement, please?
It is my duty to remind members of the board that it is your responsibility to avoid all conflicts of interest and potential conflicts of interest in accordance with Chapter 138A of North Carolina General Statutes. As public servants, it is your duty to continually monitor, evaluate, and manage your personal, financial, and professional affairs in such a way as to ensure the absence of conflicts or potential conflicts. Does any member know of any conflict of interest or potential conflict of interest with respect to any matter coming before the board this evening? Let the record reflect that no conflicts exist.
Great, thank you very much, Ms. Warden. I'll entertain a motion to approve our agenda.
Make a motion that we approve our agenda tonight. Second.
It's been properly moved by Mr. Jolly, second by Mr. Archuleta to approve the agenda. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please state your aye with our roll call. Ms. Sawyer?
Yes, sir. Sharon Warden.
Aye.
George Archuleta.
Aye.
Ms. Virginia Houston.
Aye.
Mr. Walter B. Jolly.
Aye.
Pam Pereza.
Aye.
Dr. Sheila Williams.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. The motion carries to the approval of our agenda. We will now have our superintendent's report. Dr. Edmonds.
Chair Robinson, Vice Chair Warden, and board members, good evening. And I am proud to bring to you the Superintendent's Report for this evening. And I think we're going to have a PowerPoint, but I will move forward while we're waiting for that to come up. Okay, so I'll move forward with the superintendent's report. Ms. Godfrey, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but the PowerPoint does not seem to be fitting on the screen. So I'll just move forward. If you were able to see the PowerPoint, you would see pictures of the first day of school with our teachers in their classrooms, getting prepared for students. And I want to say welcome back to our students, to our staff, and wish them a happy new year. This is a year unlike any that we've seen in the past to start out with, but we are encouraged and pleased with what we're seeing amongst our staff. They've been working hard, and it's been exciting to see the work of our students this week. I'm going to give you an update on our meal services for the first week. And Ms. Reinhardt, our child nutrition director, will give you additional information on our child nutrition program. But the meals that were served for the first week, we served 8,066 breakfast and 7,882 lunches for a total of 15,948 meals served on our first day. And I'm sure that many of you have seen the Daily Advance 2020 Reader's Choice Awards. I would like to recognize Ms. Shanita Moore. She was recognized as the best teacher for the Reader's Choice Award. So congratulations and well-deserved to Ms. Moore. For our next Reader's Choice Award was Principal Cobb at Northeastern High School, and she was voted best principal, best school principal for the Reader's Choice. So we want to celebrate Principal Cobb and say, job well done. And the next recognition for the 2020 Reader's Choice Awards went to Elizabeth City Pasquotank Public Schools as the best overall employer. And for me, this is huge, and it speaks volumes to you as a Board of Education and to our district administration to be in the time that we are in and to be voted as the Reader's Choice for the best overall employer. That speaks volumes. So congratulations to this board and to our district administration on being named the 2020 Reader's Choice as best overall employer. So as we shared with families, we said that midway through the first 9 weeks that we would have a survey for remote learning experiences. And those surveys will go out September the 11th through the 14th for parents, in the week prior to that for our staff. I've heard the board loud and clear that we want to make sure that we're hearing the voices of our staff members. So we're going to include the staff survey the week prior to. And then we'll have the parent survey on September the 11th through the 14th. And we will post these on social media and our website, as well as having our principals do Blackboard Connect calls. And it's an awesome idea for the board and myself. We will have town hall meetings with our staff and parents to get additional feedback from you. And in the past, we've had what we called early release days. Well, now we're calling those professional development days. And we have one in our calendar scheduled for September the 17th. And the time frame is from 1 to 4 p.m. This will be an opportunity for us to provide professional growth opportunities for our staff, so that, and we have some areas that we're focusing on for this school year. For an example, focusing on effective remote learning or virtual teaching strategies. Dr. Spencer shared that with you when she shared the remote learning plan. And so some of those pieces that you saw in that plan, you will see professional development offered on those days, as well as for our exceptional children's department and other areas across the district. A list of offerings will go out to our staff on the week of August the 31st. So they will have a list of the different offerings for that week. And while we're having our professional development time, students will work on independent classwork on that from 1 to 3 on September 17th. Also want to share our partnership with Elizabeth City State University around the teacher residency piece. We know that this is a time that we need more students going into the field of education. And so having this partnership to have students that will do their residency in our district, we have 2 this year that will be with us. And we're excited to have them at J.C. Sawyer, and they're both at the same school, so they can have their own little cohort and support each other. We're looking at the new site development piece, and we're in the process now working on our mission and vision development for the partnership. And another piece I'm excited to share with you is our Teacher Advisory Council. I've been working with Ms. Bethany Riddick, our 2020 Teacher of the Year, to plan out our first meeting for our Teacher Advisory Council, also known as TAC. And this will be an opportunity for us to have a continuous feedback loop from our teachers in our schools to administration. And so this will be the Superintendent's Teacher Advisory Council, and she and I will co-chair that council together. And so you'll hear more about that moving forward. Our first meeting is scheduled for September the 8th. And iCares, this is a piece that we've been waiting to come our way, and we have some information. And we did submit a letter of intent. And the Innovative Childcare and Remote Extended Support Grant is a competitive grant from the Department of Public Instruction, and it allows school districts to partner with community organizations to provide supervised instructional childcare for children grades K through 8. And so we have submitted our letter and started listing out our partners, and we will be reaching out to our community partners to see who would want to work with us in collaboration with this piece. And you'll hear from Ms. Reinhardt later. A portion of this, we can also provide meals as well as afternoon snacks. And I would like to say a huge thank you to our Board of Education for your support, to our community for the support that they've shown to us, as well as to our students who are just so resilient and they continue to work hard. And just want to say a huge thank you to everyone. And a huge thank you to the staff and the administration of Elizabeth City Pasquotank Public Schools. We don't often thank them enough for the hard work that they are putting in. So I want to thank the administration, our teachers, our principals for all that they are doing to ensure the students in Elizabeth City Pasquotank Public Schools receive a sound basic education. And that concludes my superintendent's report.
Thank you very much, Dr. Edmonds. And we would, as a board, like to thank you and your team for the fantastic work you did last spring and for the way we've been able to open up school this fall. So thank you. Entertain a motion, and I think we could use one motion for the approval of our closed session minutes for July 29th and of our regular meeting regular meeting minutes for July 27th.
I move to approve the minutes for June 29th, 2020, closed session, and for July 27th, 2020, regular meeting.
It's been properly moved by Dr. Williams, second by Ms. Pereza. Any further discussion? No further discussion. We'll have our voting of aye with roll call. Ms. Sawyer?
Yes, thank you. Ms. Sharon Warden,
Aye.
Mr. George Archuleta,
Aye.
Ms. Virginia Houston,
Aye.
Mr. Walter Jolly,
Aye.
Ms. Pam Pereza, Dr. Sheila Williams.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. The motion carries. It's my understanding that we have no one signed up for public forum, public
That is correct.
comments.
That is correct, Dr. Robinson.
Thank you. We will move forward with our agenda items. First, Committee Chair Sharon Warden with your Finance, Business, and Technology Systems Committee. Ms. Warden.
I assume that all board members have looked over these items that we are under consideration tonight under my committee. The maintenance report is one, and Ms. Rhonda James Davis is responsible for that. Does anyone have any questions for her about that maintenance report? Ms. James Davis, do you have anything you need to share specifically from that report? Thank you. So if there are no questions and no concerns about that particular report, we're going to move on to Ms. Rachel Haynes, our Chief Finance Officer. Ms. Haynes?
Chair Robinson, Vice Chair Warden, and board members, good evening. Finance Committee Chair Warden, Finance is requesting that the board adopt the budget resolution for the 2020-2021 school year as presented in your packet, attachment FBT 02, to establish initial budgets for all funds. Sections 1, 2, 9, and 10, the local current expense fund and local special revenue fund combined total the $12,330,000 approved by the board at the April 22nd, 2020 meeting. Sections 3 and 4, the state public school fund represents the state allotments we've received to date. Sections 5 and 6, federal grants, establishes the budgets for PRC 17, the CTE grant, and our TSI carryover funds. Child nutrition and after-school care are flat budgets, and the capital outlay fund includes the budget for the school bus we've received, the capital carryover, and this year's capital budget. So with that, are there any questions on the resolution? You want me to?
We are going to take action on this, but I'd like to just move on and have you present
Okay,
the technology quote as well, and we'll take action on both items at that time.
all right. Finance is requesting approval to purchase student devices totaling $130,587.18. A copy of the quote was included, attachment FBT 03. The purchase is from state contract 204A, and it'll be funded from PRC 124, coronavirus relief funds for student computers and devices. And then the final item in your packet is just a copy of the quote from Curriculum and Associates. It's attachment FBT 04 for the iReady package that was previously approved as our assessment tool. So, are there any questions? If there are no questions, then Ms. Warden, that concludes my report and request.
No questions or concerns? Okay, I'd like to make a,
I do have one. So
Okay.
we have one quote of each. Are we supposed to have more than one quote or?
No, ma'am. The
That's the
quote
one.
for the technology items is from state contract.
Or we're fine with just
Yes,
the one?
ma'am.
Mhm. Thank you.
And the other quote, the Curriculum Associates, is from state contract as well. So.
Thank you.
so I'd like to move that we accept the budget resolution as presented by Ms. Haynes tonight, as well as the technology quote for this year, 2020, 2021. And I need a second.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that we move forward. So by roll call, we will take a vote. Ms. Sawyer?
Yes. Sharon Warden,
Aye.
George Archuleta,
Aye.
Virginia Houston,
Aye.
Walter Jolly,
Aye.
Pam Pereza. Aye. Dr. Sheila Williams.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Haynes. That concludes our report, Dr. Robinson.
Thank you, Committee Chair Warden. We appreciate that. Our next committee is our Global Citizens and Healthy Students. That committee chair is Virginia Houston. Ms. Houston?
Yes. Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. We have an update on our meal services, and that will be presented by Ms. Tammy Reinhardt, Director of Child Nutrition.
Good evening, Chair Robinson, Vice Chair Warden, and board members. Thank you for speaking to me tonight. I'll start with what we are currently doing. Our current meal services through August the 31st. We are currently feeding at all school sites. You know, previously in the summer, we only had 3 school sites, but since the 17th of August, we've been feeding at every school site in order to make it more convenient for all the community. The times are every Monday. Meals are being served between 11 and 2. We are serving a hot lunch with lunches and breakfasts that are shelf stable or heat and eat to cover the remainder of the week. And that, of course, is still at no cost to anyone, to any of the students at all. But beginning on September the 1st, we do have some changes. DPI had asked for waivers that were denied. So we are going forward with our feeding service continuing at all school sites, but we'll be transitioning to the National School Lunch Program instead of the summer feeding program, which we have been running under. But we are going to be continuing that service at every school location and serving nutritious meals. We are asking if the public we'd love for them to pre-order just because of ease for our ladies, but it is not a necessity. We will have documents where they can sign up when they do pick up for the following week. And of course, we can email or call in an order. And we are exploring a website or a software program that parents or guardians can pre-order on a mobile app. So I'm hoping to get that underway here by September 1st. Get that approved. We are looking at partnering with the food bank, of course, just continuing with them, providing extra food and supplies that the community needs and families with side distribution. And we're looking at possibly offering some limited delivery service as well. We did this back in the summer, and we feel that this is needed, and we will offer some. It will be limited, but we feel that it is needed. Is there any questions? I think I've covered everything. I'm not sure. No, I'm not. No, I have not. September the 1st, because of some of the waivers that have not been granted through USDA. Although our elementary and middle school lunches, breakfast will continue at no cost, high school meals will not. Starting September the 1st, high school, there will be 2 rates. It will be free or full pay, our full cost. I hate that, but this is unavoidable due to the waiver being denied. And I believe that is everything on my update. Is there anything that I have not covered?
Are there any questions from board members?
I have a comment. Ms. Reinhardt, I want to say thank you to you and to all your staff members for the incredible work you're doing in our community with our kids. We know we have a high-risk community as far as food insecurity. And what you're doing is tremendous. So thank you for all your work. And please let your ladies and men, I don't know if there are any men on the cafeteria staffs, but there might be. Please let them know how appreciative we are of their hard work. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I do have a little update. We are still waiting on a couple schools, but we fed 14,000 plus today. So I'm still waiting for the final numbers, I think from 3 schools. So I think we will pass up our count for last week. And thank you so much for your encouragement. Those ladies are absolutely wonderful. And we do need a few good men.
Please
Thank you
know,
so much, Ms.
Well-
Reinhardt.
Well, we were voted a great working environment, so perhaps some of them will step up and join us.
Thank you.
please know, Ms. Reinhardt, that the expressions that were given by Ms. Warden go for the entire board. And we just want to thank you and your staff for the fantastic and great work that you have done for our community, not just for our district, but our community. So from all of us, thank you.
Thank you so much.
That concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Chair Houston. Our next committee report is Mr. Walter Jolly, our policy code. Mr. Jolly.
Our code tonight will be information bring us to us from Mrs. Sawyer. At this time, this Director of the Community School Policy, Executive Assistant, and Superintendent of the Board of Education.
Thank you, Mr. Jolly. Good evening, Chair Robinson, Vice Chair Warden, Superintendent Edmonds, and board members. I come before you this evening to request approval of the following new policies and policy revisions as recommended by the North Carolina School Boards Association in compliance with Title IX federal and state regulatory requirements. New policies include Policy Code 1710, 4020, 7230, discrimination and harassment prohibited by federal law. Policy Code 1720, 4030, 7235, Title IX, non-discrimination on the basis of sex. Policy Code 1725, 4035, 7236, Title IX, sexual harassment, prohibited conduct process. Policy Code 1726, 4036, 7237, Title IX, sexual harassment grievance process. Policy 4329, 7311, bullying and harassing behavior prohibited, and Policy 7232, discrimination and harassment in the workplace. The revised policies include Policy 1730, 4022, 7231, non-discrimination on the basis of disabilities, Policy 4040, 7310, staff-student relations, Policy 4331, assault, threats, and harassment, which has been renamed to assaults and threats, and Policy 4340, school-level investigations. I further request that the board rescind Policy 1710, 4021, 7230, which is prohibition against discrimination, harassment, and bullying, and 1720, 4015, 7225, discrimination, harassment, and bullying complaint procedure, as these policies have been superseded by the new policies and will no longer be available on our policy manual. Current Policy Code 2420 states that policies introduced and recommended to the board must be in writing, and policies will not be adopted until a subsequent meeting. Policy further states that the board may waive the requirements of this policy in accordance with Policy 2450, suspension of board policies. I would like to request the board approve to waive the review period for the recommended new and revised policies as it is related to new Title IX regulations, and approve the new and revised policies as well as the rescinded policies presented this evening.
We can use that as a motion.
Yes. Thank you.
Would need a second on the part of a board member.
I'll second it.
It's been properly moved and then second by our committee chair. Any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, we will vote by roll call. Ms. Sawyer?
Sharon Warden,
Aye.
George Archuleta,
Aye.
Virginia Houston,
Aye.
Walter Jolly,
Aye.
Pam Pereza,
Aye.
Dr. Sheila Williams.
Aye.
Thank you, Dr. Robinson.
Thank you. The motion
Thank you.
carries. Anything else, Mr. Jolly?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you very much for your great work. We appreciate you. Thank you. Our next committee is our Excellent Educators Committee Chair, Pam Pereza.
Dr. Robinson, I wanted to make a motion to accept the recommendations presented by Ms. Rhonda James Davis during our closed session.
I'll second that.
All in favor by roll call, please, Ms. Sawyer.
Yes. Sharon Warden,
Aye.
George Archuleta,
Aye.
Virginia Houston,
Aye.
Walter Jolly,
Aye.
Pam Pereza,
Aye.
Dr. Sheila Williams.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chair Pereza. Appreciate that. Before we go into our board member reports, I have one report from our superintendent, Dr. Edmonds.
Thank you, Chair Robinson, Vice Chair Warden, and board members. As I was saying, thank you to the community. I forgot to say a huge thank you to our county commissioners for approving an additional $250,000 for the school system and their second round of coronavirus relief funding. And so that's in addition to the monies allocated to us in the first round. So wanted to say thank you to our county commissioners for their support.
Thank you, County Commissioners. That's great information. Thank you for sharing that. We now have board member reports. Anything from any board members?
I just like the idea that we're moving forward and that we're taking time out for the safety of our children, our parents, and all involved. And I'm looking for a great school year so we can watch some football.
Fantastic. All right. Soon.
And I'd also like to give a shout out to our parents. They are definitely hanging in there with us, and we know that that's not always an easy thing to do, but we appreciate the support that they're giving to our children and to the educators in our school system. And I'm sure they know and that we are trying to do what's really best for everybody in our community. And hopefully, as Mr. Jolly said, we'll be able to be face-to-face as soon as it's determined that it's safe to do so. But thank you very much for all of your help and cooperation.
Anyone else?
I guess I'd like to give a shout out to Miss Canals, I think is her name, from Weeksville. I don't know if any of you kept up. She's been after a grant and whatnot for a playground, and I guess it has to do with music. And that finally came through, and her and her husband have put in a great job. I mean, actually labor at it. So I want to thank her for everything she's done. I think the kids are really going to enjoy it.
Fantastic. Thank you.
She's creative. Very creative.
Anyone else? I just want to continue to thank our community stakeholders and supporters for just being a part of our system and stepping up when we are in need. I want to thank some community businesses. We had a insurance company step up when we needed some Wi-Fi hotspots. So just want to thank the community for supporting our educational system and being who you are with us. We just thank you. Any other board member reports? Anything else for our meeting? I think we're off to a great start of our first year, which it feels like it's the first year we've ever done education, but it's just different, and we're learning, we're moving. I think our students are being engaged, so I just want to thank everyone, our staff, teachers. We're going to do this. It's going to be successful and positive for everyone. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
We thank you for your leadership.
I thank you, sir.
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Been properly moved and second that we adjourn, and we'll dispense with roll call. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Whew.